Yo, we got a video here today, and we get to see not only who's willing to compromise, but who's even happy with this concept. Let's get right into it.
The book is based on a survey where men and women were asked if they got 80% of everything they want in their ideal mate, would they be happy with that? And women said, no, that's settling. And men said, 80%, I'd be thrilled, that's a catch.
So the overwhelming majority, being 80%, is quote-unquote settling. What's up with this obsession with perfection? Because most people will admit that nobody's perfect. They'll even bring that up as an excuse to make mistakes. So 80% is settling. That's a tough bar.
And so
80% of the women you surveyed is settling?
That's settling because, the question is, what actually makes us happy in long-term romantic love? And, that's the question that I explore in the book.
Is that even a valid question? Becoming happy with long-term romantic love. I mean, what is even happiness? Where does happiness come from? I always thought it was a byproduct of accomplishment. You accomplish something, therefore you might feel a bit of happiness or pride.
Book, and I'm a journalist, so I went out and I asked neurobiologists about chemistry, and I asked behavioral economists about demographics, and I asked marital researchers.
What are women too picky about here?
Well, I'll tell you, men and women were asked what would be a deal breaker for going on a second date, and men named 3 things. They said she has to be cute enough, she doesn't have to look like Angelina Jolie, she just has to be cute enough, she has to be warm and kind, and she has to be interesting to talk to.
So there you go. Kind, I agree with that. I mean, they use the term cute because they're not also willing to say on the other end, not only as a guy do you need to be attractive to the opposite. Ladies, you also need to be at least viewed as an F-boy. Like they have to want to F you as part of their multitude of reasons.
Seem like really valid criteria.
Ding, 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 ding. Pretty simple.
Right. Okay, reasonable, right? The women came back with 300 things that would rule out a guy for a second date. And we're talking.
So we're going with 3 things. And on the flip side, 300. And that's what they're willing to admit to.
Talking about like another 2 hours and maybe a free dinner. And they wouldn't do it. And there were things like, he wore a brown belt with black shoes. Or we were having a really good time and I thought he was cute and he was interesting, but then he did this Austin Powers impression and I just can't get that out of my mind and I can't go out with him again.
Well, something that won't be talked about is that anybody, male or female, can talk their way out of getting laid. Talk their way out of... Apparently you can just wear the wrong belt and shoe combination, but if you do some cringe, unfunny Austin Powers skit, there you go, friend zone. Oh, I'm not going to bang him now. I'm not going to get that straight up ooties. So we get to now transition 20 years into the future, because that other video was pretty old. And what's some of these really valid reasons?
Do you think you would go on a second date?
I'd be down.
I'd be down, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, do you want my number?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have my phone. I'll give you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have an Android?
Yes.
An Android. Never mind. I can't do this. I'm so sorry.
Because I have an Android?
Well, I mean, he's a little bit... Beta! He's begging for it. I mean, that's what comes with it. She's laughing at him. Totally trying to control the frame. But just think, you've only got a $1,500 phone, not a $2,000 phone that has all these extra cameras. I don't know what the reason is with this Apple Android. I'm not a big camera guy. I don't take thousands of selfies every other week. And maybe the iPhones just have the best selfie camera. I don't know.
Wait, what?
And then you shift some of this accountability as to why they've got this boss babe attitude and masculinity. They chose that. We all make choices in life, but what's the new excuse this week?
People complain about women being too masculine nowadays. But the funny part is that if I'm in a relationship and my man forgets to put his pants on, somebody has to put the pants on. So I was forced to wear the pants because he forgot his. So a lot of women are being more into their masculine energy because
they choose bumps. Obviously, they choose people that can't even hypothetically put on their pants in the morning. But they're never going to take any accountability for that. They're never going to ask for mentorship from their father, from their bishop, from their elders. No, they can do it all by themselves. And single parent childbirth is outrageous regardless of area at the moment.
men are forcing us to be in our masculine energy. They're not fulfilling their own masculine energy. He doesn't wear the pants, I wear them. Somebody has to wear them. Somebody has to pay the bills. And if he's not going to man up, I'll man up to it, you know? So I feel like a woman will never be happy unless she is in her feminine energy. Mm-hmm. A woman that's tapped into her masculine is not happy, because that's not how a woman should be or feel. And the only way for a woman...
But they're doing it anyway. That's what the messaging is, actually. They are just as strong. You go into this conversation with that Snapchat AI, they're not going to say who's more intelligent. They're not even going to define what any of these words mean. There is no definitions. They say how great, hypothetically, inclusion, diversity is, and then when you ask them for statistics, they don't have the statistics for it. It's that's just how it is.
To tap into her femininity is when a man is a provider and a protector. When she feels safe and she feels like he's doing and she feels like he's giving, that's the only time she can remove her cape, remove her...
So just pay up. Beta! And I think in a previous era, people didn't mind doing that because there was just less divorce, there was less headache, there was potentially less attitude. I feel like the attitude has just intensified over the years. It's not gotten mellow or chill. It's actually gotten a lot more nasty.
Her boss lady, and remove her powerful cape and leave everything outside and just come home to a man and be a little girl. But sadly, that doesn't happen anymore.
And sadly, it almost sounds like borderline Jekyll and Hyde bipolar. You've got this ability to be this boss babe, masculine, but you can also switch into this feminine little kitty cat that'll make you purr. And that's a scary range of emotion right there that you might have to deal with. And now we get to close out on what might be expected of you when you go out on these dates, what you might have to quote unquote bring to the table. Hit the like on the way out, guys, please.
Am I wrong for this? Anytime I tell this story, no one ever agrees with me. But I swear when I think about it, I'm right. So when I first moved to Atlanta, I didn't know anybody. And I joined Bumble and matched with this guy, right? We had been talking, I think, for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I got a good vibe. So anyway, I had asked him if he knew any handy people, because I had a lot of like furniture coming into my apartment and I needed help putting it together.
But I thought people were strong and independent and don't need no man, right? Isn't that the literal cliche phrase that you hear with the lady with the bicep? But here they are, random guy on Bumble, got a good vibe, by the way. Beta! Probably compliant, willing to do things, be a handyman, you know, like a walking ATM machine.
Although I did not know him well enough, I trusted him enough to come to my apartment. Now, in hindsight, that was probably a bad idea, but it is what I did. So before he came to my apartment, I had a conversation with him about payment, because I didn't want for him to come and I didn't like him and then he felt like he got. So we talked about payment and I told him I'd give him a certain amount for him putting together like 2 pieces of furniture. Well, he put together a bed and a desk. So I don't remember exactly how much we...
Well, let's just go pure time. How many hours did they give in? And, you know, don't have to pay full amount, but it's probably in cash under the table. You shouldn't really feel too crazy because you don't want to do it yourself. I mean, you could try to negotiate and say, hey, I'll help out. I'll give you this, maybe get the pizza, some beers, whatever. That's how some people operate. They make deals.
Agreed on, but I did say I was going to sell him the money. So when he came over like early the Saturday morning, and he ended up like starting right away. He was definitely somebody that I could see myself talking to on the long haul. So it was cool. Like he was we were getting to know each other. We were talking about family. We were talking about life, all this kind of stuff. So around lunchtime, I ordered us something to eat. And as we were eating, we were like really talking, right? It was good. So when he was done, he kind of like chilled for.
You definitely have to be willing to talk. They love having a conversation, love having a yarn over some good food. Order it in, DoorDash it.
Like another couple of hours just to like rest, and we were really vibing, and he was like, I would really like to see you again. And I was like, cool. So when he's ready to go, we go outside and he gives me a hug, and then he was like, okay, so I'm gonna text you my Zelle information so you can send the payment. And I'm like, okay. In the moment, I was just a little.
They think just being in their presence, that pays for it. That pays for putting together a bed and whatever else. Again, they want it for free. Not even just like $20, 40, whatever it was, right? I don't know what the normal average hourly rate is, but some food, $20, $40. But she thinks because they had such a great conversation, they're going to be dating long term. Beta! Pay you. You should be paying my rent. We're dating now. You should be paying for the furniture you just put together.
Shocked, but I didn't like let it on. I was just like, okay, just text it to me. So the next day I sent the Zelle payment, and I was just like, oh, thank you for coming over. I really appreciate it. And then I didn't say anything else. And he was texting me, and I did not respond. And he wasn't used to that because obviously we had been like texting all day long, you know, talking throughout the day. It was good at that time. But then I just decided that the fact of him asking me for money after, like,
game over, Red Rover. You wear the wrong belt, you have the wrong cell phone, you ask for some money for driving over and doing something that, you know what, he could have just chilled out his day. He could have went to the movies, he could have went fishing, whatever your hobby is. Could have just slept all day. He could have ordered food and did whatever he wanted to do. He didn't technically have to put together someone else's bed, someone else's furniture. There's basically too lazy to do it, and also too greedy to even pay anyone to do it on top of it.
Like, we had a good day, and I do understand that we agreed upon it, but I just thought it would be different since we were going to start dating. So finally he asked me like, what's up? And I was just like, honestly, I know we decided that I would pay you for that, but I really thought it was tacky that you actually asked me for the money afterwards, and you took it. So I did end up cutting it off, and we didn't talk again. But when I told my cousin about it, she was like, you guys agreed on it. Like, I don't understand what the problem was. And honestly,
the problem is that feelings can change, and obviously agreements and deals can change also. And it really is just a massive power trip, control trip of like, even though a deal was agreed upon, I can change. I can say I'm unhappy, and not only do I not have to pay, you might have to pay. You might have to get a lawyer now to defend this.
Like, if I'm going to date you and, you know, you put together some furniture for me, you're going to charge me? I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
Date. It was like the first meeting. It's like, have you already smashed? I mean, that's when they really expect you to start paying up if you've got in between. If you've, you know... You get in a lazy hookup. Hey, can you come and do this for me? Oh, I'm a bit low on money this week. I need $20. I need a little bit of money here, a little there. You don't know how many people they're pulling that trick on. You could be one of 300 for all you know. But anyway, gents, we're going to leave it right there. As always, thoughts, comments, but low. And hit that like on the way out. It takes 1.5 seconds, and smash that subscribe button right now. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.